Aistear is an early childhood curriculum framework, so it starts from 0 to 6 years. Here in Scoil Phádraig Naofa, we use Aistear as a teaching methodology to incorporate the month's theme for learning. So for example, this month we are teaching about the Arctic. So we will pre-teach the topic for 2 weeks, teach the children some of the vocabulary they'll need to interact with the activities then in Aistear. So Aistear play can take different forms. It can have role play, it can have sand play, creative play, it can have constructive play, exploratory play, and games with rules. So depending on our month's topic, we'll pick different play to suit the topic that we're teaching.
I had to catch a polar bear, and then I touched fire with special gloves on because I didn't want to burn myself.
The benefits the children get from it, they build on their communication skills, their play skills, their teamwork skills. They use vocabulary that they've learned through the 2 weeks pre-teaching, and they learn problem solving skills then within each area. There's usually a problem that they're trying to solve. So we look at our Arctic role play. Just for this week's setup, we have a small world scenario where there is a rescue station based in the Arctic where the scientists are trying to rescue and save animals and help the animals. So there's a variety of different animals over there. So the great thing about it is, as teacher, you can interact with the children in small world, and you can then see, do they know the names of all the animals? Can they act out the scenarios that might happen if they were in the Arctic? And then at the end, they have to recount. So each Aistear lesson starts with a planning session. So the children will get together in their group, they'll plan what's going to happen for the first few minutes. Then they will play, which is their favourite part obviously, and then at the end we will recount on the activity. So that goes on at each station. So we also have a creative station where this week the children are creating a mini Arctic. So in their planning they will talk about what they need to do first, what are the different steps in the process, what are they going to add in first, what will they do next, and what they will finish. So this should be chatting as they go, and as teacher you can come over and talk to them and see, do they know, can they recount the different steps in the process? And at the end, for the recap, they can describe something in their Arctic scene, and also the other children get the chance to give them a compliment. So it's a nice way of building relationships between the other children as well. In our role play area then, which is probably the most chaotic but the most fun, the one the children prefer the most, is where they are acting out. So they are in the Arctic, the classroom is transformed. So it's a lot of work for the teacher initially to set it up every day, but it's definitely the one they will get the most out of. So we have down in our role play area this week, we have an igloo, and we have our Inuits, who are basically, that is their home. They're acting out their daily life in the igloo and what happens outside of the igloo. So we also have some animals where they can go into role as animals. They can interact with the Inuits and see what happens. Teacher in role can also come in and add to the chaos down in the role play area and add a question to children about what is happening.
Roxy, you were trying to fish earlier on. What was happening there?
We cut, there was no fish we ate, and we ate them.
You ate them all, Roxy. And tell me about the fishing. What did you do?
I was fishing them and put them in the fire.
And who is eating them?
The polar bear.
And then make sure they can recount what is happening in the role play. And then at the end again, in the review, they will talk about something that happened in their day in the Arctic.
Well, I was pretending to be an Arctic wolf, and I had baby cubs drawing the northern lights, and it's colourful.
And our last station this week is our snowbox area. So it's games with rules combined with language play. So the children are first in their planning, have to split themselves up into teams, have to decide who's going first, so they have to sort that out amongst themselves. They then take their turns to dip in the snow. They're sorting their Arctic animals and their non-Arctic animals. But then they also have to record on their page the initial sound of each animal. They're working together as a team, so it's their teamwork skills. They have to help one another, make sure they all have the same letters wrote down, so it's really building on their collaborative learning. So then at the end, when we recap, we will all go over and we'll check that their letters match the letters that are in their hoop, and we'll also count how many animals they got, so there's a little bit of numeracy in there as well. So that's just basically what our stations have been for this month. So whatever theme we do next month, our stations will change to suit whatever next month's theme is. So the children love it. It's a great way for them to interact with one another, and as a teacher, it's a great way, through interacting with them, we can assess their language, we can assess their understanding of the topic, and normally it's great to see the language that we've pre-taught then being used in our Aistear stations.